So, if you think Vegas is forever, I've got bad news. The city doesn't just close casinos, it erases them. Like bulldozer level erase. In this video, we're doing a straight up graveyard tour. 8 places that are shutting down right now, and some of them aren't coming back with a new paint job. They're making room for bigger, shinier plans. And here's the twist, this isn't rare. Vegas has been doing this for decades. Name swaps, rebrands, demolitions. Like the Strip is a rotating cast, and nostalgia is just rent that came due. Before we continue, hit subscribe so you never miss the latest updates. Number 1, Poker Palace Casino. So let's start with a spot most tourists never see, and that's kind of the point. Poker Palace isn't on your first time in Vegas list. It's on your my cousin lives up here and we're killing time list. And that's why it matters, because if a place like this can disappear, then none of this is safe. Poker Palace is North Vegas energy packed into one box. No glitter, no choreographed fountain show, just a locals joint where the main flex is you can park without doing 3 laps like you're hunting for a rare Pokemon. You walk in and it feels like regular life with slot machines. The kind of room where people actually know the staff, and the comps still mean something. But here's the catch. How does something this small even die in Vegas? It's not going head to head with the Bellagio. It's not trying to out-celebrate a mega resort. It's competing with rent, land value, and the simple fact that every square foot in this town is being priced like it's supposed to make billionaire level money. That's the game now. Not cards. Dirt. And this is the scariest part. Places like Poker Palace don't get a farewell tour. No last weekend party with influencers pretending they've been there before. It just goes dark. One day, you're driving by, and your brain does that weird glitch like, wait, weren't the lights on last month? It's like a friend moved away, and nobody told you. Just an empty spot where your memory used to be. Because what Poker Palace represents is the version of Vegas that didn't need a brand experience. You didn't go for a curated vibe and a $22 cocktail served in a light-up souvenir cup. You went for a cheap meal, a few hands of poker, maybe a quick session on the slots, and you went home. It was blunt. It was honest. It didn't try to seduce you with marketing copy. And smaller places get squeezed first, every time, because they can't pull the magic trick. They can't rebrand into a lifestyle destination. They can't just slap on a new name, throw up a mural wall, and suddenly charge $28 for nachos like you're paying for the vibes. Their whole deal is being simple, and simple doesn't win when land starts talking. Picture it like a crime scene. Closed doors, faded signs, a parking lot that looks way too quiet for Vegas, like the city accidentally hit mute. The kind of silence that makes you lower your voice even though you're outside. And don't even get me started on the drivers out there, because you'll be dodging somebody drifting across 2 lanes while you're trying to read a half-lit sign. This is how history gets erased in Vegas. Quietly. No fireworks. No apology. The closure isn't just a business failing. It's Vegas choosing land value over legacy, and these little joints always lose. So if your favorite Vegas is the weird, cheap, local stuff, this is what it looks like right before it's gone. Number 2, Buffalo Bills Resort and Casino. And if you thought the last place could vanish quietly, you're not ready for what's next. Buffalo Bills feels like somebody froze 1996 in a snow globe, then shoved it behind a bag of freezer-burnt chicken and forgot it existed. This is Prim, that weird little border outpost where you used to pull off the highway, stretch your legs, grab a cheap room, and do a little warm-up gambling before you even touch the Strip. It had that roadside theme park vibe, like Vegas built a mini boss fight right on the state line, just to catch you slipping. So here's the question that messes with your head. How does a casino sitting on a literal river of traffic struggle this hard? You've got cars flying by all day, every day. California plates, Arizona plates, rental cars with that "we're already fighting" energy. Sounds like free customers, right? But here's the catch. Traffic isn't loyalty. Traffic is just motion. People don't road trip the same way anymore. They don't wander. They don't stop because they saw a big sign and felt curious. They blast through with a full tank, a podcast, and a reservation already locked in on their phone. And Vegas helped kill Prim too, because the city got really good at pulling people deeper into town. Why stop on the edge when the real show starts 30 minutes later? And when you pull up to Buffalo Bills now, the vibe is wild in the worst way. It's a huge building, big bones, big parking lots, but it doesn't feel alive. It feels like the dead end of a mall after every anchor store left. And now, it's just a lonely Auntie Anne's trying not to cry. What made it iconic was never luxury. It was the theme, the size, the whole promise that Vegas starts here. Like you could roll in half tired, half broke, and still feel like you arrived somewhere. You had this big, loud, overbuilt property acting like a gateway, even though you're basically still in the desert. And when a place like this shuts down, it's not just closing a casino floor. It's cutting off a whole mini economy that lived off that pit stop. The jobs, the quick stays, the random late night burger runs, the little decisions that happen when you're already pulled over and you're like, we're here, might as well. The erasing part is the creepiest. Not a clean, dramatic ending. More like reduced hours, then fewer open doors, then whole sections just dark. You get closed entrances that used to be busy. You get that dead casino floor feeling where the lights don't bounce the same. Like someone is turning it off room by room, and nobody's even making eye contact while they do it. Buffalo Bills doesn't die with a boom. It dies with a long, awkward fade. And that's worse, because people don't notice until it's basically a ghost. Vegas doesn't just replace old stuff in the middle of the action. It also abandons the edges the second the math stops mathing, and Prim is where you can watch that happen in real time. Number 3. Tropicana Las Vegas. You're not ready for what's next. The Tropicana is the kind of name you think is untouchable, and Vegas is about to prove you wrong. This place is strip history in the most obvious way. That classic footprint, that prime corner, where you can't really ignore it, even if you're trying to find your Uber and your friend is yelling, "Bro, it's right there." For a long time, the sign alone felt like a postcard you didn't even have to buy. So here's the question that should mess with your head. How do you kill a casino sitting on some of the most valuable dirt in America? Like, we're not talking about a weird side street. We're talking about a spot where every inch is basically a bidding war in disguise. But here's the catch. That's exactly why it dies. That corner is too valuable to just be a hotel casino with old bones, old plumbing, old layouts, and that "we've been through some stuff" smell you get in the hallways. Vegas looks at that land the way a landlord looks at a rent-controlled unit. Not with love, with a calculator. Here's the brutal logic. Vegas doesn't keep sentimental assets. It keeps assets that can out-earn their land. If a property can't make enough money to justify the space it's taking up, it's done. Doesn't matter how many people took a blurry honeymoon pic out front. Doesn't matter how many bachelor parties lost their last $100 at 3 a.m. The land has to perform. And the most unnerving part is the erased feeling. This isn't a cute refresh. This isn't same place, new carpet, bigger sports book. This is the kind of plan where the whole thing gets wiped and rebuilt into something that prints cash for decades. Clean slate, new angles, new entrances, new everything. Like the past never happened. That's where the billion-dollar future talk comes in. Stadium vibes, mega project energy, corporate timelines where the only emotion allowed is shareholder value. The kind of planning meetings where nobody says, "Yeah, but remember the old pool?" Because that's not a line item. And look, I get it. Cities change, but it hits different when it's this public. Because the Trop isn't some hidden local spot. It's right there in your face. And it's still getting treated like an old phone that can't run the new update. People had first trips here. People did weddings here. People had those dumb, perfect late night meals where you're eating something greasy, laughing too loud, and the whole strip feels like it belongs to you for 5 minutes. And now it's basically scheduled to become rubble, with a new thing taking its place, like a tab getting closed. The Tropicana closure isn't about one casino losing. It's about the strip officially choosing redevelopment over heritage in the most public way possible. This is Vegas telling you the past is nice, but it's not worth more than the next deal. And that corner is about to prove it. Number 4, East Side Cannery. So here's a creepy one, because East Side Cannery didn't close the normal way. It's more like it got put on pause and then everybody walked away from the remote. It's sitting there in limbo, locked up, waiting, basically begging the city to remember it exists. This place was never built for the postcard crowd. It's off the tourist path on purpose. It's for regular Vegas life, where you want easy parking, you want to get in and out fast, and you don't want to pay strip prices for the honor of being yelled at by a valet. You're going because it's steady, it's familiar, it's the kind of spot where you can show up in a hoodie and nobody acts like you broke the dress code. So why can't it just reopen and keep it moving? If it's not battling mega resorts for influencer attention, what's the problem? But here's the catch. COVID didn't just pause some casinos. It handed owners the cleanest excuse ever to cut the lights, stop the daily bleeding, and just wait. No big announcement. No messy, we failed moment. Just a long, quiet, we'll see, which is corporate speak for we're shopping options. Picture this, a full casino resort just sitting there like a parked car that hasn't moved in years. Same spot, same shape, but you can tell nobody's been inside, doing normal life. No flow, no random foot traffic, no little signs of daily wear. It's a weird modern kind of creepy. Like when a mall is still standing, but every store is gone and the music is off. So you hear your own steps and start questioning your choices. And this is where the real estate angle gets nasty. Sometimes the best business move isn't to operate at all. It's to hold, because the land might be worth more later. The license might be worth more later. Or some future deal makes more sense than running a casino that needs staff, repairs, AC, security, and constant promos just to stay busy. So the building becomes an asset you don't use. You just keep it, like a collector item, except it's a whole casino, and it's sitting there aging in real time. That's why this fits the graveyard tour, even without a wrecking ball. This isn't a dramatic demolition. It's a slow-motion disappearance. A place can be gone in the only way that matters, functionally, while still being physically there, like a ghost that pays property taxes. And if you're local, this part hits harder than any strip implosion, because this is the kind of closure that quietly wrecks routines. Your bowling night, your cheap steak night, your we always meet here spot because it's halfway for everyone and nobody has to deal with traffic. All that tiny life stuff gets cut, and it doesn't make the news. Eastside Cannery shows the new Vegas trick. Closures don't always end with rubble. Sometimes they end with a long, silent, maybe never. And the longer it sits, the easier it is for everyone to accept it's gone, even while it's still right there. Number 5, Whiskey Pete's. You're not ready for what's next. Whiskey Pete's is the kind of place that used to feel like a weird landmark. And now it feels like the last VHS tape in a Netflix world. It's still there, still shaped like an idea, but the world moved on and it didn't get the memo. This is another Prim classic, pure old road trip Vegas. Cowboy theme energy, big signs, big promises for people driving in from California. Like, yo, we're basically there. It was built for that moment when you're an hour out, your legs are cramped, and you're sick of looking at the same beige desert. So you stop, you wander, you play a little, you buy something dumb in the gift shop. That was the whole play. So why do these border casinos keep getting hit first, even though the traffic is right there? Like, cars still fly past all day. It's not a ghost highway. It's packed. But here's the catch. Traffic doesn't equal customers anymore. People don't stop just because they can. They stop because they have to. And now, they don't have to. You've got a full tank, a playlist, a phone mount, and a hotel check-in time already sitting in your calendar like a dentist appointment. You're not seeing what happens. You're executing a plan. And when you do pull into Whiskey Pete's, you feel it. That empty corridor vibe. The kind of hallway where your shoes sound too loud, like you're breaking in even though the place is technically open. The gift shop looks time-locked, like it's been selling the same mugs since flip phones were a flex. The casino floor doesn't have that hum it used to have either. Not the buzz of people arguing over slots, not the little clusters at tables. It's more like machines waiting. Here's the part people miss. A themed property like this is expensive even when nobody's there. Staffing costs money every hour. Maintenance costs money every day. And big themed buildings don't age quietly. They creak. They peel. They need constant fixing just to look fine. And in 2026, fine is not good enough, because people are brutal now. If it feels dated, they clown it online and keep driving. So the erasing doesn't always come with a wrecking ball. Sometimes the soul leaves first. A restaurant closes, so you've got fewer reasons to hang out. Then a bar shuts down, so the place stops feeling like a stop. Then hours shrink, lights go dim, and suddenly it's not a destination. It's just a building with a memory problem. And you've been there, even if you don't remember it. This was the stretch your legs stop, the quick blackjack stop, the let's kill 45 minutes before we deal with strip chaos stop. You'd walk in a little sunburnt and weirdly hopeful, like maybe you'd hit one good hand and roll in feeling lucky. Whiskey Pete's proves Vegas history doesn't always get demolished. Sometimes it gets stranded, still standing, but basically abandoned by the modern travel economy. If your business depends on people being bored on a road trip, 2026 is not your year. Number 6, Silver Nugget Casino. Silver Nugget is one of those places where you walk in and you can tell it's surviving on stubbornness. Not hype, not trends, just pure, we're still here, deal with it energy. Like an old pickup that keeps starting even though the dashboard looks like a Christmas tree. This is North Las Vegas. Industrial edges, wide streets, hard sunlight, and parking lots that feel like they were designed for forklifts. The Silver Nugget never pretended to be a mega resort. No fake volcano, no designer perfume pumped through the vents. It's a locals joint that feels like it was built to do one job: keep the lights on and keep people playing. So why would a smaller, gritty casino close when it doesn't have strip-level overhead? Like, it's not paying for celebrity chefs or a lobby chandelier that costs as much as your house. What's the problem? But here's the catch. The game isn't just gambling anymore. It's real estate. It's zoning. It's who can afford to modernize and who can't. A place like this can be packed on a Friday and still be wrong on paper because the land under it is getting hotter and the building on top of it is getting older. What makes Silver Nugget distinct is the vibe you can't fake. No tourist energy. Regulars who don't need a map to find the bathroom. That I know the bartender feel where the interaction isn't scripted. The kind of place where comps mattered because people actually came back for them, not because they wanted a photo for Instagram. You're not dressed up. You're not performing. You're just there. And those old buildings? They cost money every single day, even if nobody pulls a handle. A C in Vegas is not optional. Repairs stack up. Compliance stuff creeps in like subscriptions you forgot you had. Security, cameras, alarms, the whole checklist that keeps getting longer. At some point, the spreadsheet wins, and it does not care that you like the chicken special, or that your uncle swears this is the luckiest slot row. Picture the neon still flickering outside. That's the tell. Places like this don't get upgraded. They get patched. A little paint here, a quick fix there, maybe a temporary sign that stays up for 3 years. And eventually patching costs more than shutting down, so the owners stop patching, and you start noticing. One broken light turns into 5. One closed corner turns into a whole dead zone. And when a locals joint closes, it hits fast. It's not just nostalgia. It's jobs. It's routines. It's that one more reason for foot traffic at night, which matters a lot in areas where empty streets get weird. You lose the late shift crowd. You lose the older folks who came for a safe, familiar loop. You lose the small gravity that keeps nearby spots alive. Silver Nugget shows the harsh math of modern Vegas. If you can't scale up, you don't just fall behind, you vanish. And the next thing that shows up won't be another Silver Nugget. It'll be something with a bigger logo and less personality. Number 7, Wild Wild West Gambling Hall. Wild Wild West is basically a Vegas cheat code. Cheap, fast, gritty, and sitting on land that developers probably daydream about like it's a winning lottery ticket taped under the table. This is that off-strip locals and late-night crowd spot. You hit it when you don't want the strip tax. You don't want the dress code energy. And you don't want to feel like you need a second mortgage just to eat and park. You roll in, you handle your business, you roll out. Simple. So how does a place that's always busy looking end up on a closure list? Because if you've ever driven by, it looks alive. Cars in and out. People posted up outside. That steady little buzz that makes you think, okay, this place is doing fine. But here's the catch. Being busy isn't the same as being valuable. Vegas doesn't grade you on vibes. Vegas grades you on what the dirt under you could make if somebody bigger got their hands on it. If the land can earn more with something shinier on top, you're living on borrowed time. Let that sink in. And Wild Wild West is in that zone where big projects creep outward. You know the zone. One day it's just random lots and older buildings, and then suddenly it's revitalization. New builds start popping up. Traffic patterns shift. The city starts acting like it just discovered the area, like it wasn't there the whole time. And weirdly, revitalization always raises rents. Always. The vibe inside isn't polished, and that's the whole point. It's not Instagram ready. It doesn't need a lobby that smells like a department store perfume aisle. It has that real Vegas smell. Cig smoke that's been there since the first spin, fryer oil that clings to your hoodie, and the faint scent of somebody making a choice at 2 a.m. that they're gonna regret by lunch. You can feel the difference right away. The lighting is practical. The floor isn't trying to impress you. The machines are right there. Like, you want action? Cool. Stop asking questions. And honestly, for a lot of people, that's the appeal. No performance, no pretending. But this is exactly what makes it a target. Vegas is scrubbing away the rough edge places because they don't fit the new pitch to investors and visitors. The new Vegas wants clean stories, clean photos, clean brands. It wants places you can describe in a brochure without using the words sketchy or kind of weird but fun. And once a spot like Wild Wild West gets fenced off, it turns into a crime scene. Not in the true crime way, more like the nothing to see here way. Signs come down, doors get locked. A chain link fence goes up like a curtain. And then the story gets rewritten. People start acting like it was always destined to go, like it was never a real part of the city. That's the warning sign. Your favorite cheap, slightly sketchy Vegas spots aren't protected by popularity. They're targeted by land value, period. The city doesn't gentrify politely. It just redevelops you out of existence. Number 8, Texas Station Casino. You're not ready for what's next. Texas Station is the one that still makes locals mad because it didn't close like an accident. It closed like a decision. Like somebody looked at a map, looked at a spreadsheet, and went, yeah, we're good. This was a full-on locals anchor. Big property, steady crowd, and for a lot of people, it was their regular spot, not a vacation flex. You didn't go there to post a selfie with a fancy lobby behind you. You went because it was easy, it was familiar, and it felt like the neighborhood's living room with slot machines. So here's the thing that makes zero sense at first. If it had a built-in customer base, why shut it down and keep it down? Like, locals casinos aren't supposed to be fragile. They're supposed to be the sturdy ones. The, even on a random Tuesday, it's still humming kind of place. But here's the catch. COVID-era closures became a sorting hat. Some places reopened fast because they were crowned worth it. Others got labeled not worth the restart cost. And once you get that label, you're basically toast. Because restarting isn't just flipping a sign to open. It's staffing back up, rehiring, retraining, fixing everything that broke while it sat, and then spending money to lure people back like they forgot how to leave the house. And what it really means is this. If a company can shift customers to other properties, then one casino becomes expendable, even if people loved it. They don't need to keep every building alive. They just need to keep the money moving. If your favorite place gets consolidated, congrats, you just got corporate speak evicted. Picture the visual. A giant building, just sitting there. Dead parking lots where you used to see rows of cars. No late night glow. No people wandering in with that, we're just here for food excuse. It's the weirdest feeling because the neighborhood energy changes overnight. Like somebody took the couch out of the living room and now everyone's just standing around in silence. And this is where the erased theme gets brutal. Closure is step 1. After that comes demolition talk, land reshuffles, and suddenly your memories are just an old Yelp review. The city moves on fast, and the internet moves even faster. One day you're like, remember when we used to meet there? And the next day, your phone is showing you a render of something new that looks like every other new thing. The emotional hit is real too. People didn't just gamble there. They celebrated birthdays there. They watched games there. They ate there. They ran into friends there without planning it. Then it's gone, and nobody asks them. No vote, no town hall, no, hey, this mattered. Texas Station is the clearest proof that Vegas isn't a city of comebacks. It's a city of replacements, and locals don't get a vote. When corporations can make more money with less footprint, they'll do it every time. Let that sink in. So here's the thing. Vegas doesn't lose casinos. It trades them in. Sometimes it's a stadium plan, sometimes it's a shiny rebrand, and sometimes it's just because the land got too pricey to waste on your memories. That's the whole scam, and it's working. So if there's a place you still care about, go see it like it's already gone. Take the dumb photos. Eat the cheap food. Walk the quiet corners. Because one day, you'll drive by, and it'll be a fenced-off dirt patch. Comment, "Save Old Vegas," or "Build the New." That's it for today. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned for more updates you won't want to miss.